Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Nose Bros. Thank you, by the way, just before I start, thank you to all the people that have signed up, subscribed. I appreciate it. If you've watched the videos, like 17,000 views and hundreds of man hours, like 700 or 800 hours of productivity just right down the shitter watching videos of me talking about boots. So thank you. What I wanted to talk to you about today was Wolverine boot. Oh, real quick. If you have the opportunity to subscribe, please do. If you hate me and don't want to subscribe, you know it's the best way to show you hate me is to subscribe and then never watch. Just ignore me. That's actually a better way to punish me for being an object of your hate. I mean, ignoring my existence, I don't even know about that. But if you subscribe but then never watch, I'll be like, what am I doing? So it'll hurt me in here. It's a clue. It's a good way to run your marriage too, or ruin your marriage. I forget. Today I want to talk about Wolverine boots. Not all of Wolverine because it's a huge company, but their Heritage line, which is their 1,000-mile boots. This is my first exposure to Heritage boots. I bought these 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, somewhere back then. I'm retired, so all the time looks the same now. So these have been built this way since 1914. That's 118 years. Or 108 years. Jesus. 108 years. If you think about it, like, it's pretty weird. Like 108 years ago, you died when you were probably 12. And you probably were killed by a bear or diarrhea. I mean, you know, those are probably the most likely ways you were going to go back then. These boots, though, were probably what you were wearing. So, that's cool. Let's talk about the boots themselves. Chrome Excel, Horween Chrome Excel leather out of Chicago, Horween Tannery in Chicago. The heel stack is leather board, leather, and then a very thick heel topper, which on brand new ones is super thick and will take you forever to go through. I've had these boots for 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it is. I'm getting them resold because the other boot here has a hole that's wearing in the sole of the sole. So the outsole. But this, I'll get replaced as well, just the rubber top, just because I've been walking at kind of a tilt for a while. Not sure why. Maybe I'm drunk. I don't know. The boots themselves, 270-degree Goodyear welt. These also by them have a 360-degree Goodyear welt, so they vary depending on the boot. Fiberglass shank inside the leather sole, or inside the boot. The way they actually do this is it goes Horween Chrome Excel sock liner that fills halfway to about here. Then there's a pigskin liner the rest of the way there. Then a bit of foam, cork filler, leather midsole, leather outsole. They stitch through all of it together. Now, if you've heard me complain about foam, I still complain about foam. But I've heard that it's better than I think it is. And since a lot of brands are using it, maybe I'm an idiot. And that's quite possible. My wife has mentioned that a number of times. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe I just can't wrap my head around foam. And maybe I'll be at a cocktail party talking to a foam scientist, and he'll have all sorts of clever things. And I'll be like, holy shit, I didn't know foam could do that. And then, you know, from then on, I'll just be like promoting foam. Like, let me tell you about foam. I'm just saying it's strangers. On the inside of the boot, it's unlined, which makes it kind of breathable in the summer, which is nice. Or actually in any of the 8 months where it's not fucking freezing here. It's gusseted up to the end of the eyelets. It's got 4 eyelets, then there's 3 speed hooks. The gusset goes all the way to the end of the eyelets. So it keeps out water and debris. The inside, like I said, it's the sock liners, Horween Chrome Excel, and then it switches over to pigskin. Some people worry that the seam on the two will split and it'll come up and rub your feet. I've had these for 6, 7, 8 years, and it hasn't happened yet, and I've worn these a ton. Heel counter, still solid as a rock, unlike my Wilcoxes that collapsed immediately. This has remained unchanged. You can see, like when I conditioned the boots, the color around here is different than everything else because it just hasn't moved. These are good pull-up leather, by the way, still even after all these years and all this abuse. The heel counter is cellulose, which I didn't Google because I knew that I didn't want to know what it was. But it has remained solid, so I'm going to assume it's top-notch cellulose, whatever the hell that is. The boots themselves are aesthetically very pleasing to me. This is what they look like new. So this is the Luxe Leather Arabica colorway. But It's a nice thick heel topper here, right? You can see like plenty of room, plenty of space here in the toe box, which I like. That's what the leather sole looks like new. But plenty of room in the boot. I wear an E width, but these are D's or M's, and honestly, there's plenty of room for my feet. I mean, I'm not swimming in them. They fit the way they're supposed to. Let's see. Plus is about the boots. Well, first of all, just let me say real quick. One of the things that Wolverine does, because their pattern is 108 years old, to spice it up, is every now and then they do collaborations with other companies. Like they did this with white pine. This is canvas, so they took the leather out and put these canvas panels in, and a different sole, which is very squishy, like comfortable. These are my go-to boots for walking around in the woods in the summer, just because the canvas itself is very breathable, and it still keeps ticks from giving me Lyme disease, which I know that's all they want to do. They're just waiting for the opportunity. They did a little thing with Detroit denim, where they made this wedge sole boot. Obviously no shank in this one, but supple leather, still 2 millimeters thick, a little more than 2 millimeters actually, but super supple. Right out of the box, these felt great. They felt like sneakers, and so they're very nice, very comfortable, very orange also, which I like. They sort of look like bowling shoes with a different colored tongue, and this back here, and then the orange. So I can have high top bowlers, like I'm, really pushing forward my street cred. So, pros of the boots, tried and true build. They've been making them the same way for a while for a reason. They're a lot sturdier than you would think. Like I said, I wore these for 6 to 8 years without ever doing anything to them, and I would just wear them and then kick them off in my garage. A month and a half ago, I took the laces out and conditioned them, cleaned them off and conditioned them, and I was like, holy crap, they're actually still in pretty good shape. I mean, the sole's a little jacked up, but that's to be expected. They did a good job. I mean, there's some leather deformities over here, but that's probably my fault for not being a good steward of my boots. But they're very sturdy, despite the fact that they look like they're going to be more showy boots than go-y boots. But for the most part, I've never had a problem with them. I bet someone thought I was going to shit talk Wolverines today, but I'm not. I actually like them. I have several pairs. I have 5 pairs, and I'm happy with all of them. I would tell you this: if I had a sticking point with these, it's the price. They go anywhere from $385 to $450, which I think is a little excessive. Now, they are American-made boots. They're made in either Michigan or Arkansas, depending on the boot. And some of the collaborations are awesome. Like they collaborated with Rawlings and did a boot out of baseball glove leather. They did a boot with old Van Winkle, Pappy Van Winkle, where they used the barrel to make the heel stack. So they took pieces of the barrel to make the heel stack, and then they labeled them 1 through 450. And those boots are great and super comfortable and awesome. And I sold them because I can sell them for more than I bought them for. And at my very essence, I'm cheap. So the price on the boots is a little excessive, but I've never paid full price for them because you get discounts. I use the ID Me, so if you were in the military or first responder, any of that stuff, register for that. They verify your service, and then you get 20% off. Even if you don't do that, that's why I joined the Army, so as I could get those things, like discounts on boots and shoes and gym shorts. So even if you don't do that, they have sales constantly. Right now they're selling a pair that is sort of like this, but instead of canvas, it's wool by Faribault wool manufacturers, woolen mills, for $209, which I would have, and they have a lug sole. I would have those if they had my size, which they don't. So the boots are a little overpriced at the beginning, but you can always buy them on sale. Also, the secondary market for these is awesome because people buy them on sale and then sell them for, $50 more, and you still get them for a super discount. Let's see. If I were going to go with a rating of 1 to 10 on comfort, with the leather sole, I'd go with an 8. With the wedge sole, I'd go a 9.5. With the Vibram sole, I'd go a 9. With the Commando, the lug sole, I've had a pair of those, and I didn't like. They were a little stiff for me. They had a little, just the way they were built, it was a little uncomfortable for me. I have weird feet. Those were kind of like a 7. Value, if you can get them at on a sale where you're paying, 300, 320 or less, that's great. That's a 9. If you get them at 209 like they are right now for some of them, that's a 10 for value. You pay full price, it's a 7. Let's see. Durability wise, mine have lasted a while with no signs of slowing down. I'm a big fan. I like an American made boot when I can. I like a boot that's got a nice aesthetic to it. Like, honestly, you can wear these pretty much anywhere. Not to a wedding, not to a funeral, but you can wear them to work, you can wear them to a party, you can wear them out in the yard, you can wear them whatever. And the leather sole is very slippery at first, but it will scuff up and get traction pretty quickly. But I just like them. I'm a fan. It's been around for a while, like me. They've been making these twice as long as I've been alive, which is pretty cool. But I'm also, it makes me pretty old. So that's it. Enjoy the boots. I have another review coming out of something I found that I thought was pretty cool. It's not a review of a brand, it's a review of a specific boot, which I said I wouldn't do, but I am doing it because it's cool and I wanted to tell you guys about it so you could maybe do it too if you were interested. All right, that's as vague as I could be. So I'm going to put out another video probably in the next 2 days about that. And again, thank you very much. Please, if you get a chance to like or subscribe or comment or whatever, do it. It'd be awesome. And if you don't, that's also awesome too, right? I'm not here to boss anyone around. You have a good day. Thank you.